Wow, I tell you what, I think the Dolphins didn't realise that they were probably going against the one team you don't want to get into almost a gladiator battle against. Like, Roosters footy is like, that's how Trent Robinson treats his players, almost like gladiators out there. I mean, we've seen it. They've always been known for their physicality. And I admire the Dolphins showing ticker and getting involved in that. But unfortunately, that's the Roosters' bread and butter. You go into that style of rugby league, they're going to beat most sides. Whereas against the Roosters, you've almost got to frustrate them out of that footy and almost like, not spread it, but keep ball in play, quick footy, fatigue some of the big boys. But I think I respect it from the Dolphins. It showed how much ticker. They're not going to take a backward step. So I did like that. However, when you got players of their calibre that like that kind of rugby league, what we saw was White and Spencer Lenu go, welcome into this is our home. This is where we dominate teams. And they absolutely, after that initial, couple of shots from Donahue, which for a guy his size, he might have the biggest balls in the country. Like, seriously. He's a half.
Mate, there's not much. We interviewed him last year at Magic Round. We're up there with the Dolphins. We interviewed him, and I remember walking out of that and saying to Kat, I go, that Donahoe, like, fuck, there's a couple of screws missing there. Like, he's a good footballer, but he's wild.
Yeah.
And you saw, like, that first 25 minutes, that was like a trailer park fight. That was insane.
Yeah, that's why it's the KO can't miss moment, guys. It's the KO can't miss moment. So let's walk through it. Okay, so there's a little bit of a tackle between 15 from Dolphins. Is it, how do you say
Obliques tougher?
Obliques, yeah.
Tougher?
Yeah.
And he just pushes Sam Walker away from him. Spencer Lenu comes screaming in, pushes him. Nothing goes on there. Then Spencer Lenu takes a tap. Donahue screams out of the line, hits him. They kind of bump together, and then they get a dominant tackle on Spencer Lenu. Then the Roosters score in the corner. And we don't have the actual footage of who said something first. So it could have been the Dolphins, it could have been Spencer Lenu. All we do see is Spencer Lenu turn around and square up. And then we see, forget his name again?
Obliques.
Tuffer.
Yeah.
We see him square up. Now, Tuffer kind of throws a punch or whatever, and then there's a big all-in or whatever. I've got to say, like, for Spencer Lenu, look, I would never, like, because I'm from the mean streets of the Gold Coast. He's from the Western Sydney, so it's not really that tough. But no, but I from different worlds, so I probably would never do the things that he does. But I got so much respect that he doesn't allow any social norms to dictate what he's going to do and what he's going to stand on. A bloke challenged him to a fight, I guess, and he said, "I don't care." And yes, was it a stupid thing because he's letting his team down? Yes, but I got to respect the fact that he is who he is, and he's not changing for anyone.
He's unapologetically a villain.
Like,
he just embraces it all the way through.
And I just respect it. Like, there's very few people in this world that love him or hate him will just be themselves. A lot of the time, social pressure will guide them into conformity. Mate, not Spencer Lenu. And as I said, it was silly. He let his team down with it. And I'm sure but at the same time, I look at the Roosters and I go, they dealt with Hargreaves for so long doing that. They're used to that kind of stuff. So it's almost like, do you pay the trade-off? I think Trent Robinson is almost okay with paying the trade-off. At least in this game, he paid the trade-off. Look, in regards to should have the Dolphins been sent off for 10, I've got to say, the ref saying I need 2 from either side is outrageous chat. That is outrageous chat. I cannot believe we heard a ref on tape going, I just need 2 from both sides. Because, like, you're essentially saying there's no one that instigated anything and they're both equally as bad as each other. Clearly the guy that instigated it is the worst. I personally think in a perfect world it would just been Spencer Lenu, but I didn't like how he was automatically just looking for 4 people. If it had been just one-on-one, I could have gone, okay, they both squared up to each other. Granted, you could argue, like, if a guy squares up, what is he supposed to do? But it had been one-on-one, I could have copped that. But anyway, I can't believe he just didn't even know who it was and he just said, I need 2 and 2. I just thought it was just poor form.
I think they kicked off that one. Ref got a few minutes into it and went, "Oh, I'm starting to lose this," and then looked around and went, "Fuck it, this is gone. I just need to try and dampen this completely." I agree with you, but I think it just got away from him so quickly.
Well, then the next hit up,
not that that's okay, but I think it was just a fucking circus.
Yeah. Then the next hit up, Wong gets absolutely just like a head clash. Now, Grant, I respect the refs for not penalising Donahue for the head clash. I will say I thought it was a shoulder charge, though, from the inside man, Keeley. So I was a bit surprised they didn't pull that up. Maybe he didn't land the shoulder. I thought he did. So I thought the Roosters were a bit hard done by there. But yeah, anyway, Timmy, what are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, honestly, it was one of my favourite 20 to 30 minute passages of footy I've seen all year and in a long time. I loved every single minute of it. Just the gladiatorial side of rugby league and the whole period of even after the scuffle of the shots and the size of the hits and just even just little things like then Billy Smith throwing a ball at, it might have been Donahue's face and just all those little things. It was just hair on end stuff, and this is the beauty of professional sport. It's people doing shit that we don't, sitting on the lounge at home with a beer in hand. We don't have this in us. We're not that tough. Like we wouldn't go out there and shape up to Spencer Leniu or any of that. And mate, I loved every single bit of it. And there'll be like even the sin bins. At the end of the day, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think anyone actually did anything wrong. And I understand that, you know, players were starting to lose their heads and they were trying to prevent things getting messier than they were. So maybe someone had to go to the bin, but did anyone actually do anything wrong in this instance?
They were warned if you come in again, so maybe that's where he's leaning on.
You come in with a scuffle of, again, there was the Spencer Leniu shaping up. He still didn't do anything. And I said, I understand the preventative side of things, but maybe you send, as you said, Spencer Leniu off just as a, guys, I'm willing to do this, so pull your heads in. But for 4 people to go off, I just found it stupid. But, mate, from a spectator point of view, I loved every minute of it.
Oh, yeah, it's so good. It honestly reminded me of like the purest form of rugby league you could ever watch, because it's like you've got guys on both sides that don't give a shit where they get sent off, whatever happens. They don't care about their bodies. They don't care nothing. They're just going hell for leather.
And I'm just curious as to what people were actually binned for. Maybe it was you've been warned. Like warned for what? To scuffle? Like
if you come in again.
If you come in
someone's
again and
getting
grab someone's shirt, it's like, well, put it this way, whilst the tension was obviously there, like it was heated, nothing happened.
As you said, though, like, are the Roosters probably the best side to, you know, try and get into that with? No, but fuck, man, if I'm a Dolphins fan, I'm sitting there going, okay, I know I've got these kids underneath that they believe in Wolf. They'll go to a dumb place for that
super
jersey.
dumb place, yep.
Super dumb place. Like, we're talking about a couple of kids here that are lunatics, and Ray Stone's name hasn't come up.
No, I wish
Ray was on the field.
I know. I wish Ray was on there. Like, when the boys got binned, Ray was on the sideline waiting for him to be like, you legends. Like, just straight up. God, I wish Ray was out there when it all kicked off.
Oh, man.
How about Spencer giving the crowd these ones?
That's what I mean. Like, I got to respect it, man. Like, we need players like that in the competition.
Yeah.
We really do. And he leans all the way in, and he's not going to let anyone change who he is.
That's where if the Roosters are going to make a play at it this year, he has to be the village arsehole the entire way through.
Yeah. And, you know, like if they are to be a premiership threat in the next few years, that's why he was brought to the club,
and
to be an enforcer.
As this crop of Penrith players tend to do, they come out and they deliver on it. And he comes out and scores not long after it. It's just like, of course he does.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's too well scripted.
I've got to say, if you ever doubted where White is now in regards to standing as a front rower, doubt no more, because he obviously got sent 10 in the bin and came back on and just dominated the whole game. Just like went to a whole nother level and said, all right, you want to get physical? Basically got shotted by, who tried to shot him, and he just laughed at him.
Molo, was it?
Yeah, Molo, head hide him, and he just laughed at him. White, just seeing Spencer Leniu and White go to that kind of place, it was special. It was special.
Given what we've seen from White this year, was letting go of Terrell May a mistake? Do we still look at that as a bad call by the Roosters?
You know what? I think it's worked out better for both. Because would have he been allowed to play the style of footy that he's playing currently at the Tigers, the Roosters? No way.
No way. No.
There's no way. So I actually think it's worked out better for both. I think the Tigers suit him better. I think he's great for the Tigers. I think that it's good for both.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I'm definitely falling on my sword on that.
Like initially, of course, I was like, what the hell? But I didn't know how good White was going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, in regards to the performance, obviously Nwanga Tawase scoring 3 tries. He is just a absolute freak of nature. But for me, it's a Sammy Walker show. You know, we're talking about last week because he had a bit of a poor week last week, but he just reminded he's the guy. He's the guy. You just got to give him time. No, he did his ACL. He's been out for a bit, but he was outstanding.
When he has time and space, I don't know if there's a better player to watch. Like that try that he set up for Daniel Tupou where he got it sort of off a half volley and his spatial awareness just to know where everyone is around him is incredible.
Mate.
It's like we say it all the time, but he's just a backyard footballer.
Yeah.
I think the big thing for me was like, we speak about the Roosters time and time again when they have all these attacking sensations on the field. There's so many strike weapons. Can they make it work? And like Sammy coming back from an ACL layoff, and James Tedesco has been fantastic all year. When he first came back, they hindered each other a little bit a month ago, but as we saw on the weekend, they made it work. And like Tedesco had probably his best game of the season, Sammy Walker had his best game of the season, and you go, all right, they're clicking pretty quickly. Not to say they haven't played together, but I would argue they probably haven't really clicked before together at NRL level with other certain players in the team. If they can continue what they did on the weekend and just be synchronised, Sammy Walker and James Tedesco being the two main men in this attacking unit, like, how far can they go?
Yeah.
Like, and I said, they've still got to make finals. Like, they're in a battle, but the Dolphins hadn't played a bad game of footy since about round 3, and they just did this to them at Suncorp.
Mental. Absolutely mental. I've got to say as well, that was prime Teddy for me. That game there was as good as he's ever played, in my opinion. He was unbelievable. It was him that chipped that crazy chip
to Walker.
Like, he did everything. Everything that you could do as a fullback, he did it.
Do we all agree Teddy's going to win the
by a landslide? It might be a record win. Seriously.
So Teddy, just having a look over the last 4 years, for example, like he has been in the top 5 of the Dally M 3 of the last 4 years, and he's going to win it this year. In the last 3 years, he's come second twice, and he's going to win it this year.
I wouldn't rule out Cleary. Just going to throw that one out there.
Yeah, okay.
They haven't lost a game since they closed the doors.
Okay.
Not a bad point.
Not bad shout there.
Yeah.
And the 6 points, obviously.
Teddy was also already in a pretty good spot.
I think he was second behind Hughes or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, Metcalf.
Kennedy and Metcalf.
Kennedy
were
Metcalf.
really towards the top
But
end.
Teddy was there or thereabouts before closed doors, I think.
Yeah.
But with that 6 point, where you can get sometimes
can
2
swing
points.
quickly.
You can swing quickly. So, like, if Cleary gets it for every game, like...
So Teddy was on 28 points when it closed in round 12. Nath Cleary was on at absolute maximum 16 because he's not on the board yet. So it's a lot to chase in. He's been playing some pretty good footy though.
Yeah, like, I think... Because, like, basically, it's round 12 onwards where Cleary started playing really well, whereas Teddy essentially the whole year has been...
And Teddy also would have played an extra few games because of Origin
sure.
and that sort of
Cleary
stuff.
was rested for a few.
Yeah.
Cleary rested at least twice. And, yeah,
But Cleary could pick up 24 points in the next 4 fucking weeks the way he's going.
the Ponga.
Yeah.
But anyway, Teddy's stats: 2 tries, 3 try assists, 158 metres, 7 tackle breaks, a line break, 4 line break assists, 3 offloads, no errors. That's insane, bro. That's insane.
Just an obvious Supercoach captaincy play, bro.
Oh, yeah. Fucking. We'll deal with it this week.
I thought Billy Smith had some good moments too. Just shows you why they've got such faith in him. Yeah, I thought Savala as well. Like, who would have thought he would be the one that would eventually step up and be the perfect foil to Sam Walker? Just they don't work perfectly together so quickly.
Oh, we'll enjoy it for the next 6 weeks and then change it all again. So that'll be good.
There's got to be a tough conversation there. There has to be. Just because you can sign a guy doesn't mean you should, in my opinion.
I mean, they are known as a club that keeps their word. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be changing it
I'd
personally.
be keeping Savala and I'd be keeping Sanders Smith, and I would not be bothering with Daly Cherry Evans. He's not shown anything to suggest he's worth the money he's going to get, and even as far as like if this has been a plan from a long way out, it's Daly Cherry Evans. He'll still sign at freaking 10 different clubs. Like, he'll get in anywhere. The Roosters, do they need him next year? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, if they can show over the next 5 weeks they've actually found someone who can play with Sam Walker, no one move.
Yeah.
No one blink.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Just let it happen, 100%. On to the Dolphins. really disappointing. Really, really disappointing. Their goal line defence came back to haunt them, which has been a little bit of their Achilles heel. Their attack has been great, but geez, their goal line defence was terrible in this game. As I said earlier, I did admire their ticker though. Like, there's very few sides that would have even tried to go in battle with the Roosters side. So I admire that. But yeah, just a tough night at the office.
Yeah, brutal night. Sort of felt like, not fair to say Herbie was the straw that broke the camel's back, that injury, but I also think in this game, when they came in with the approach they did, not having Felice Kafusi out there was a massive one for them.
Yeah. I think also, like, you saw the kind of different tier of forwards, and, Molo, who's been actually pretty good this year, and obviously Nichols, like, they're just not on the same tier. Yeah. Like, they're just not on the... Whereas, like, a Flegler and Gilbert starting, you go, okay, but when you've got White and Spencer Leniu raging like that, you need other, essentially, origin-level players to go with them.
You put Flegler on that field.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's interesting.
Oh, my God. That would be
war.
so good. But, yeah, like, you look at their forward pack. So, like, this is their forward pack against the Roosters. Molo, Jeremy Marshall-King, Nichols, Lemuelu, Keeley, Kurt Donahue. Like, it's, you got two rookies in there with Donahue, Keeley. Yeah.
I think at every stage this season, with every single club, at one time or another, we would have said, put a line through the performance and move on. Every single one of them. We haven't said that about the Dolphins because they've had an answer to every injury or everything that has been thrown at them. They haven't lost a game 13 plus since round 2. That was a 14-point loss to the Knights in Newcastle. That was when they had schedules thrown around because of the floods and all sorts of things going on. So really just upsets it. They dead set have not had, in my opinion, a particularly bad game all year, and I reckon they'd nearly be the only club who have had that. You add in all these injuries, you add in, as you said, Guru, Herbie and what he means to this team. Something had to give eventually, and look, it'd be demoralising the fashion that it did happen in being a 60-point, points put on them at home. But seriously, you put a line through this. Again, I know their injury toll's not getting too much better, but they're still in the hunt for finals. They have winnable games on the run home, albeit a toughish draw. And you just go, line through it, we move on. It happens.
So, I mean, there's no... I think there's no other option, really. Like, what do you gain from that other than... I guess, as I said, the lesson might be learned is, like, realise what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And I think, like, the physicality of the Roosters is not so... Like, unless you're the Panthers... But again, the Panthers beat them not by shotting them, by keeping ball in play and fatiguing them and moving the ball around. The Storm are the same. So, yeah, just a young squad, inexperienced, that probably just didn't realise what they were getting into.
And I mean, I think one of the ultimate compliments to the Dolphins is they just conceded 60 points at home. They're playing the Broncos at Suncorp this week. They're $2.18.
Yeah.
After everything that's gone wrong for them this season, don't they be $2.18?
Yeah, it's good. Absolutely.